Mr. McKenzie, as an expert on retail security, how would you rate Romano's precautions on the day in question?
Totally inadequate. They hired only 4 security guards, far too few for a crowd of 500.
What would have it taken to avoid the injuries sustained by my client?
Well, a simple algorithm determines how many guards are necessary to prevent a mob mentality. You take the square footage, number of exits, and footage, and applying the algorithm, they needed 12 guards, not 4.
Mr. McKenzie, that algorithm, it's described in this book, your book, Shoes, Shirts, and Security, Retail Crowd Control.
That's right.
Now, this algorithm says that with 500 shoppers, they should have hired 12 guards.
Correct.
But what if there had only been 200 shoppers?
Well, for 200 shoppers, the 4 security guards would have been sufficient.
Do you happen to know how many shoppers Romano's had at its annual sale a year ago?
No.
208. The year before that, 202. And according to their own PR firm, they were to expect approximately the same turnout this year. So how was Romano supposed to know they would get more than twice the average traffic?
I don't know.
One last question. In your book, you write about crush mobs. Can a single individual trigger a mob?
Yes.
How do we know that Ms. Whitsett wasn't one of these individuals? I mean, sure, she got hurt, but could she have instigated that mayhem? Objection. It's a fair question.
I don't know. I wasn't there. I can't tell you what happened.
Files from the prison's hospital for the past 5 years to find a pattern of deliberate indifference.
Ms. Bingham, as CEO of Securicon, I report to the board of directors, some of the most powerful people in corporate America. We are not a fly-by-night operation. Securicon owns 17 prisons and provides security services around the globe. Now, with all the oversight in our business, we would not be where we are today if we did not play by the rules. Now, if you would please excuse us.
We're not through here.
Well, I am. I have a stockholders meeting to prepare for.
Giving you a chance to be reasonable and settle with our client. If not, we'll find the smoking gun and we'll blow this into a class action if we have to. Shareholders don't like that.
Are you threatening me?
That's how you see it.
Well, I'll have these hospital records to your office. We're not hiding anything. All I see are 2 lawyers without a case. Now, if you'll excuse us. Restaurants are tough. Just managing the staff is tough enough. It's about having a staff that will steal from you the least. Not even considering building a nice flow of customers. It's tough all around.
I don't believe they even got the doors open. The older brother screwed over the younger brother. He is parking cars for me now to help pay me back. The older brother skipped town or got erased by someone else.
So you don't just erase this kid. You're too generous to a fault.
Hey, I want to get my money back. Plus, I think this kid is all right. It's the brother I have a problem with. Excuse me.
The Hail Mary, the Our Father. Give the names of the apostles. It was all done by rote. Sheer fear. Idiotic memorization. You didn't want to get whacked on your ass or your knuckles with a freaking ruler or a yardstick or whatever they happen to have in their hand at the time. So we would learn these prayers and be ready to spout them out whenever we were asked. Just to avoid a beating. I mean, I never knew what they meant. Peter. Paul. That's it. That's all I got in the apostle front. 2 guys. Same thing goes for God himself. We were taught he looked like an old man with a big white beard, always pissed off and raging. Well, now I got no connection to this guy. After all this shit we've been through, Twin Towers. I don't know, I got a problem with the Catholic God. I was taught, I was told, you pray to the Blessed Virgin Mother for a miracle. You pray to God, our Father, for help, and somehow everything will end up being all right. Right? Well, tell me, how is it that God and Jesus' mom could not hear me, and how many other sons of bitches praying like mad on the morning of 9/11? Dear God, bring Jimmy out safe. Please, God. Bring that crew out alive. Help those people up top. Blah, blah, blah. But then some guy stuck on a fire escape somewhere, right? Sitting there enjoying the summer breeze last night, tonight even. The thing starts to collapse from underneath him and he says a prayer and God hears him? I mean, what kind of system is this guy using? I'm sure as hell glad he ain't my bookie.